What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to Kickin' with Cause. Welcome back to the show. I had a lot of cups of Joe, and I'm working and writing and losing my life to time. That is the opening number of my one-woman show I've been working on. Actually, it's not even a one-woman. It's a full woman show. Except there's one man in it, and at the end, they throw a boiling hot pot of coffee into his face, and it's all real because that's showbiz, baby. And he actually suffers third-degree burns, and that's showbiz, baby. And you know what? And we don't get up in arms about it, and the critics love it because we support women's rights and wrongs always on this show. Except for Casey Anthony. But everybody else... Everybody else, I think, is in the clear. I can't think of anybody else. Maybe I want to, put to the side. I'm sure maybe I'll think of it later. But for right now, it's just Casey Anthony. She's got to be number one off the list. I would have to say, unfortunately for her. I'm also just thinking about like at the end of that show, right? Imagine that's the final number, right? And they throw the boiling pot of coffee. Except this guy thought it was just like all for show, and he didn't know that he was actually going to experience this pain. And there's just the crowd stands up, they're like clapping, everyone's like woo 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 woo, everyone's whistling, they're bowing, right? They all start coming out from the back, where they come out and they do the bow, and then you hear over the loudspeakers and they're like, this is Patrice Walters as waitress number 3, and everyone's like woo, and then just in the back, really faint behind the curtain, you hear, oh my god, my eyes, why did you do this? And it's just the juxtaposition of it all just really tickles me. Just really tickles me pink. Which, by the way, why does that feel sexual, and why do people say that? I don't really know what I think that means, like, oh, like you're going to get like red in the face or like pink in the face, obviously from like laughing so hard. But to me, like tickles me pink feels like, why are we tickling anything that's pink? Let's whoa, dude. You can't just go around saying that. Somebody lock that guy up, whoever made that up. Lock him up, throw away the key, and throw a boiling hot pot of coffee in his fucking face while you're at it. Because why not, guys? Why not? Why not? It's almost 2025, I think. Or I think so. I'm not. What day does this come out? I think this is going to release on December 31st. So it's like basically the new year, but it's really just the tip. Which, a lot of people said I should stop using that analogy, but how great is it? It gets the point. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. So what's the problem? Oh, it makes you uncomfortable? Oh, whatever. Oh, it makes you uncomfortable? Eileen, you have 8 kids. You okay? Maybe you could learn about just the tip. What are you trying to fill a bus by yourself? Huh? What are you trying to fill a bus by yourself? You trying to have all these different children? God, man. Oh, God. Anyways, guys, let's get back to reality first. Let's get back to reality. I didn't even want to say everything that I just said. Well, I mean, I said it and it's staying in, obviously, but that wasn't the direction I was hoping to show. Okay, everybody quiet. Everybody, okay, 1, 2, 3, eyes on me. Shh, quiet coyote. Quiet coyote, let's calm down. Connor, let's take your coyote out of your ass, okay? Thank you. What is up with little kids and shoving their fingers up their ass or just like sticking them in their pants? They love it. And that's why, you know what? And that's one of the big things too. And I hate when people get on my ass about it because people always act like I don't like children because they're like, oh, why are you so afraid of like germs from children? Like you need to relax. Like there's really nothing on their hand. Really? There's nothing on their hands. These little kids will they'll shove their fingers up their ass and then they'll hand you a cracker. They think shit's cool. Shit's not cool. Okay? Shit's not cool. Shit's warm. It's fresh. I could feel it on the cracker. But, okay? And the thing is, too, is that if the child was able to conceptualize their thoughts, they still would find nothing wrong with what they're doing, right? Because they can't comprehend that it's not okay to shove your fingers up your ass and hand somebody a cracker, right? Or in their pants or like dig in the dirt. Maybe it's not that intense or to that level, but you don't know where they're putting their hands. Right? They also don't have great stability, right? They were in a matter of a few months, They go from nothing at all to all fours, and now they're upright. And you expect me to believe that they're not stumbling around a little bit, touching things that they shouldn't be, getting things on their hands, and now they're handing me foods and different things, and they're handing me all these, crackers, or, oh, do you want to try? Right? And they're shoving their whole fucking hand down. Like, you don't have to touch every goldfish, okay? And I know they're children and they don't understand, and that's what I'm saying, but you don't have to touch all of them. Like, the first thing you should teach your child is that you could actually dump a little out into your hand, or just like grab one. You don't need to feel every single goldfish all the way down to the bottom just to grab one. It's not necessary. It's not necessary. And so therefore, to circle back on my point here, what I'm trying to say is that these children, right, when they're handing me things or they're trying to get me to eat something, the reason that I have a problem with germs is that these children think that it's fine, right? They're treating you the same way that they would like to be treated. They wouldn't care if another kid shoved their fingers up their ass and handed them a cracker. They'd be like, I would do that too. That's amazing. That's beautiful. Give me that cracker. I love graham crackers. I love graham crackers, and I don't care that it has shit smeared on it because they like that, right? They like, not that they like that, but they don't understand that it's wrong, right? They're living by the golden rule. And that's beautiful that the children's learning it so young. They're treating others how they want to be treated, but in a way that's not okay. That's with germs, and it's nasty, and children, they have things on their hands, and I'm done, okay? That's what I want to say on that. That's what I want to say on that. So everyone, let's quiet down. Let's quiet Coyote, and let's all relax. And by the way, one more thing here. And if this is your first episode, by the way, and you're listening, and you're like, does he ever, like, is this just like the whole episode? Yeah, sometimes we're all over the place, and get with it. Get with it and get over it. Okay? But what I wanted to circle back to, actually, was, first of all, let me get a little sipperoo of this energy drink here, which, by the way, hold on. 2025, I'm cutting the energy drinks out. No, I'm not. I just wanted to see what it felt like to say that. I'm not doing. There's no fucking. Have you seen what's going on in the world? Okay, everyone's. I mean, I don't really like. Everyone's like, oh, what if they kill you in 30 years? If I'm alive in 30 years, that's gonna be sick. Have you looked around? Anyways, let's not depress everybody, Anthony. Here's the thing with children. You know who I mean, just the greatest respect that I have for of all time, teachers. I could never in a million years be a teacher. I don't have the patience. I'm very easily overstimulated. I wouldn't be able to handle it. I mean, they are angels that are teaching it's like angels teaching the devil. You know, there's people, religious people going around that have signs on the street corners here in Chicago that are like, the Antichrist is coming. Listen, I found him. He's in a third grade classroom in the back. Okay, you want to see the Antichrist? Third grade classroom. Go ahead, look. You'll find him. You will find him in almost every classroom in America. Unfortunately, I don't know what it is, man. These children, dude. These children. Anyways, these teachers are angels. They are angels. I could never be a teacher because I get so easily overstimulated. It wouldn't take much, really. Like, all it would take is like one kid, like, sort of talking over me. All it would take is like 3 times. I would be like, okay, guys, quiet down. They keep talking. Everybody quiet. Okay. And if I'm having a bad day, that third one's just going to be, shut the fuck up. Fuck. I would just start crying up there. I'm like teaching. I'm like, okay. I'm like wiping my tears on my shirt. I'm like, okay. So this is a preposition. Okay. Can somebody create a compound? I can't even. Oh my God. The principal every like 3 times a day would just find me in the janitor's closet, just like shaking back and forth. Like, just like shaking back and forth in the janitor's closet, going like, oh my God. Right? They would have to open up the door every day. I'm just like hugging the mop. Like it's my lover, and I'm just like, I'm holding onto the mop, and I'm like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay. I named it Mop Piece. I'm like, it's okay, Mop Piece. It's okay, right? Like mop, but like mixed with Patrice. It's okay, Mop Piece. And I'm like, I'm pretending like it's his hair, and like that's disgusting and nasty, but I'm not worried about germs right now because I'm severely overstimulated, right? And I'm just rocking back and forth, and like every like 3 hours, the janitor has to knock on the principal's door and be like, he's in the bucket. He's he's gonna walk in, he's gonna be like, right, the janitor's gonna come in, he's gonna be like, and they're gonna be like, yes, and they're gonna be like, Anthony's quite frankly, he's spooning the mop again. And she's like, God damn it. They get up, they're like, son of a bitch. They knock on the door, they're like, Anth, hey, you got English, third period English in about 5 minutes. You think you feel up for it? And I'm like, no. I'm like the guy in Benchwarmers who's afraid of the sun. I'm in the back of the right. They bring like one kid. They're like, hey, Timmy here really wants to learn learn about English, right? I see his face. I'm like, no, get him away. No, fuck, get him away. Oh my God. And that would happen about, I don't know, probably about three times a day at least. I wouldn't be able to handle it. I wouldn't be able to handle it at all. I don't have the patience for it. I don't have the inner calmness for it. I mean, I would just, every time shit got a little bit too noisy, right? I would freak. And I was the same way. And the reason I know that is because I was the same way as a child. I was never a teacher's pet, right? I was never like tattling and like being like, oh, they're talking in the back here. But like, I'm going to be honest with you. When I was even a child, I used to get so overstimulated and just shit would just be like, it's too, and I still get that today, but I didn't know what it was when I was younger. And like kids would be like the teacher would be like, all right, everyone, just be quiet and do your work. And there's kids talking. Someone's like dragging their fingernails on something. And I'm like sitting there ready to pull my hair out. And then the teacher would like scream and be like, everyone sit down. This is enough. Right. And they would, and they would be like, listen, if you wanted detention, sit down, blah, 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 blah. And I never said anything. But I'm going to be honest with you, I would be sitting at my desk doing my work. And like I said, I was never a teacher's pet, but in the back of my mind, I'm like, you know what? Thank God somebody said something to these fucking delinquents next to me because they're pissing me off. Thank God somebody said something. Okay? Like, yeah, I have horrible ADHD and I probably wasn't doing my work, but I would at least like some silence, okay? I would at least like to feel like I didn't need to rip each individual hair out of my eyebrow piece by piece just to calm myself down, okay? While everyone, they're banging the desks, they're moving shit around, they're making noise when they're not supposed to, then someone's dragging chalk across the chalkboard, and then somebody would come in and go, everybody quiet. And I would put on the face like I was like, oh my God, what do we do? But deep down inside, I'm like, thank God, you, my savior. Thank you. Thank you for telling them to stop. Because I was never going to, because I would lose cool points. And I already didn't have enough. Like how, you know what I'm saying? Like the glass was already half full. I didn't need anybody dumping shit out on me. I didn't need to lose any more cool points. But yeah, that's why I could never be a teacher. And I got overstimulated. And I feel like I've been talking for a while. Guys, welcome back to the show. No. Anyways, guys. Yes, I'm back. I know some of you are like, "Oh, great. When's the next time we're gonna get another episode?" And you know what? And you know what? You're right. And you know what? You're absolutely correct. Honestly, when I first started, when I clicked go, I didn't click. Use the English language in a proper form, Anthony. You fucking dumbass. But when I clicked the start button, that's not even what it is. The record button. On my laptop and on my camera here. For a moment, I thought like somebody was going to jump out of my closet and start throwing like tomatoes at me and booing me off the stage. Like booing me out of my own room. I just click record. Someone jumps out of my closet like, shut the fuck up. Okay? You make promises that you can't keep. Stop it. And you know what? They would be right. And you guys, honestly, if I could offer each and every one of you the opportunity to throw a tomato at me, I think I deserve it. I genuinely think that I deserve it. And here's the thing. I'm gonna break it down for you guys here. Okay. Here's the problem that I encountered, and I'm gonna be 100% completely honest with you. Yes, I have really bad ADHD. That causes a problem. Absolutely. However, what really got to me, okay, and this is not me making excuses. This is not me trying to excuse my behavior whatsoever. This is just me trying to give you an explanation, an honest explanation that I've genuinely been thinking about and I wanted to give to you people. Here's the thing. I realized, so when I first started the podcast, it sort of grew very quickly to a point where like I wasn't really ready for it to grow that quickly. Like I think by the 10th episode, I think it was the podcast was ranked like top 15 on Spotify at one point, which isn't me like bragging or whatever. And I really appreciate everyone that listened and was there back then. If you weren't there back then and you're here now, whatever, I don't care. I'm happy that you're here now. And if you were back then, I really greatly appreciate it. And I'm happy that you were there now, and I'm happy that you stuck with it. And I appreciate you going with me through all the ups and downs that I've been through over the past like 2 years of this show. But I gotta be honest, what it started out was the first like year of the show, I was, obviously new to it. So I was getting incrementally better. At least that's how I felt every single week, Like I was getting better and better because like it was new to me, and I was getting more comfortable with the microphone in my hand, and I was just learning more and like sort of understanding like my, just like the presence, I guess, that I had, and like how to like, I was learning like how to, truly be myself with the microphone and the camera in front of me and all this, and all this going on. But the thing was that it catapulted so quickly, and I went up so fast, and at first I was like, okay, like that's daunting, but it's going to be fine. Like nobody's expecting within the first 50 episodes or the first year of the show for them to be like bangers, so good, perfect every single time. But then what started to happen was I started to really get inside of my head, and this, this might be, you guys might be able to take this into your own life, hopefully, and sort of learn something from this. But what I realized was that I started to think to myself, like, wait, now people are really expecting like next level shit, and like for me to constantly keep getting better. But the thing is that, I mean, you could only get so much better. Like I said, the show at one point was top 15 or whatever on Spotify. Like you could only get so much better than that. And I kept thinking to myself, like, I need to get better. Like, it needs to be perfect. Like, people are expecting perfection every single episode. And I started to, like, hyper obsess over, like, 4 minutes of the show where I made, like, some joke. And it was some stupid bit. And I would be like, oh, my God, this 4 minutes is terrible. Burn it to the ground. Throw it all. Burn it. Throw it away. Burn it. Light the flame. And I'd pour gasoline. And I'd light the whole thing on fire. And I'd go, I got to start over. And that was dramatic, okay? That was wildly dramatic. And it was something that I knew that I needed to stop doing, but something that I couldn't help myself from doing. It was like this thing that was eating away inside of me where I felt like I needed it to be so fucking good because I was so afraid of disappointing everybody that listened to the show that it ended up not just causing me, not even just thinking about, disappointing someone, but then the fear of disappointment led me to completely stopping it and not even doing it at all and becoming hyper obsessed with it to the point that I felt that if it wasn't 100% perfect every single time, then why release it? Which is insane. This is a podcast. And you know what? Perfection, here's the thing. Perfection in life is what's going to stop you. It's not always going to be fucking perfect. Sometimes the show is going to be like a 9 out of 10. Sometimes, it's going to be a 7 out of 10, but somebody else thought it was a 10 out of 10. Or maybe I thought an episode was an 8 out of 10, but somebody else thought that it was a 7 out of 10 or a 6 out of 10, and maybe they didn't like that one that much or whatever. And I realized I've been living in my own head that I forgot to even fucking live. Like I'm all up in my head in this imaginary little world that I've created that I forgot about the actual world that I'm fucking living in. And so here's my actual 2025 resolution. I need to stop listening to that little fucking mouse in my head who I keep feeding cheese, and I don't know why I'm giving him cheese. I don't even know where I'm getting the cheese from. I mean, for you visual learners, I would say the best way to explain it is there's this little mouse in my head he's a cunt. He's a cunt. Okay, he's a little asshole, and he says mean things, and he he loves to make me ruminate about shit and to get inside of my own head, and it's like I'm fighting with this other voice inside of my head, and who suddenly got like a lot of power over me at some point. I don't know why. And anyways, it's like he's this little mouse. And every time he says something, it's like I'm like, oh, yes, master, here's another piece of cheese. That was a great idea, but it wasn't a good idea. And he's a dumbass. And somebody needs to smack him around. And that's what I started to do. I started smacking him around, and I started realizing, you know what? I need to just take control. Right? I love doing this podcast. I really do. And I love yapping, and I love giving you guys the clips and stuff and sending it out to you, and the comments and the support, and it's beautiful, and I love it, and I love talking every single week about shit. And I realize that I'm putting that mouse in a fucking cage, and I'm not letting him out, okay? And I'm just gonna let go of, I'm gonna let go of the idea of perfection and lean in to the idea of being as true to myself as I can be every single episode. And that's what I'm going to post, and that's who I'm going to be, and that's what's going to happen, baby. And let's go. That's beautiful. And you should take that into your own life as well. Stop listening to that mouse in your head. He's a cunt. He's a cunt. Okay? He's just a little mouse and you're feeding him cheese. Stop giving him cheese, lock him in a cage, and put in some headphones and ignore that prick. Simple as that. Simple as that. Okay? Simple as that. All right, we're going to move on forward. And by the way, I've also decided that, sometimes if I have something like maybe motivating or maybe like something that's not necessarily funny, but I feel like is insightful and I want to share with you guys, I'm going to share it. Okay? Another thing, I was so hyper obsessed with like making every single second, if there wasn't a punchline, like every 15 seconds, I felt like I just needed to burn the episode to the ground. I'm not doing that anymore, right? Because sometimes it's nice to have jokes for 15 minutes, and then maybe I give you a little 5 minutes of maybe something insightful that I learned and something that I wanted to share with you guys. And maybe it'll help you in your own lives, right? And sort of build more of a community here, rather than just a show where I'm trying to be as funny as possible every single fucking second. Whereas I just need to lean back, relax, let the show go where it's going to go, right? It's going to be funny, of course, obviously. But then maybe there's going to be moments where I'm telling you guys things, and, maybe I'm not going to sit here and read religious texts together and analyze it. Oh, yes, John 4, chapter 4, verse 36 really spoke to me last night as I was reading by my candlelight. You know what I'm saying? And that's not me making fun of religion. I'm just saying that's not what we're doing here on the show, right? I'm just saying the show's going to go where it's going to go, and the new year's going to be glorious for the show, and it's going to be awesome, and we're going to have a good time together. Okay, let's move on, people. Let's move forward. Onward and upward, Coda. My dog's laying in my bed right now. He sleeps about 20 hours a day. It's unbelievable. It's absolutely unbelievable. Right now, he's looking at me like, why are you yelling? Why are you yelling? He's giving me that frown. And you know what? He's right. Why am I yelling? I love to yell, Coda. I'm so sorry. I know. He's sleepy. Anyways, what else did I written down here? The new year. Should we go back to that? Yeah. Most of you are probably listening to this in the new year, or if you're lucky enough to listen to it on the day that it comes out, the 31st, I believe so. You're going to be listening to it the day right before the new year. Isn't that beautiful? Do you guys have any New Year's resolutions? We have a questionnaire coming up later that I sent you guys, so maybe we'll go over those later. So let's ignore that. Also, you can't even answer me. What am I talking about? Sometimes I feel like this is a Zoom call. Sometimes I honestly feel like this podcast is a FaceTime call where except it's just me talking and you're just listening. It's kind of like a TED Talk / FaceTime call where I feel your presence. I feel a presence of somebody listening, but I know that they can't respond to me. It's interesting. It's interesting. But if you are in the new year, Happy New Year. How about that? Well, kind of, I guess. I mean, it's all made up, right? It's really not real. Nothing's real, except for the fucking, you want something. Okay. You know what? Want to know something? I actually just found that there's so many, what honestly irritates me about the new year? And this is stupid irritation because it's whatever, but there's other cultures, like the Lunar New Year in China. They just celebrate that. I don't know. When is it? February, or it changes, I think. I don't really know. But there's other New Years. You know what I'm saying? We just decided, oh yeah, January 1st. It could have started on July 1st, right? It could have. Oh, months have 30 days. Who gives a fuck? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. Doesn't really matter. I mean, I guess it matters. Who cares, man? Nothing's real. The years aren't real. Yes, Happy New Year, but also it's just a day just changed on the calendar. It's a visual New Year, but it's really just the same. The Earth doesn't know that we just celebrated a new year. As far as the Earth knows, it's just rotating, spinning around the sun, doing its own thing. Just doing its own thing. And we gave it all these, We give it all this stuff like money, made up, government made up, society made up. You want something real? Go outside, stick your hand in the dirt and eat a worm. That's fucking real. That shit's real. Stick your hand in the dirt and start chanting. That's real. You might not even be real. Well, you probably are. Definitely are. I don't want to, somebody, all I could just imagine is somebody heard that like in their car at like 7:30 in the morning and they're just like staring at their radio, like gripping the wheel on the highway. They're like, what do you mean I'm not fucking real, damn it? They had like a rough morning. They're like, I'm just going to listen to cause, relax, listen to some jokes for a little bit. And then all of a sudden they get like 20 minutes in and they're like, what the fuck do you mean? I'm not real, goddammit. Tell me I'm real, Anthony. You're real. Okay, relax. Okay, relax. But yeah, you want something real, go outside, stick your hand in the fucking dirt, grab that shit and go, that's fucking real. Okay? The only thing that's real is the ground beneath your feet. All this shit's made up. Oh, it's the new year. Is it? Is it? Is it? It's just something to track time. It's just something to track time. Oh, it's 12 o'clock. Is it? Well, that, I get that because the sun, obviously. That makes sense. But the years and the way that we move around the sun, it could have started in July. It actually started at a different time. I actually read online yesterday because I was really curious about this. I think at one point, the new year used to be in like April. But then I think like the Pope was like, now it's in January. And everyone's like, straight up, that's the Pope. Fuck that. Fuck that. He just woke up one day and he was like, right? I think something was up with the calendar and like the way that they did it, that it was like off. So he was like, I think January 1st would work better. And everyone's like, yeah, straight up, dude. What the fuck? Maybe there's something more scientific to it, but as far as I, could find after a 5-minute Google search, there isn't, And as you could tell, 5 minutes on Google is a deep dive. 5 minutes in the grand scheme of things, like when we're talking about society as a whole, 5 minutes, like 5 whole minutes of research is probably more than 50% of the population even does. So really, if you do at least 5 minutes of research on a topic, I can guarantee you're probably more well informed than dare I say 60% of the population. Because I feel like most people just like hear things and they're like, oh yeah, that I'm going to make up something about that in my head. And that's what I'm going to tell people for sure. And right. It's just I feel like most people, they hear like one talking point and they're like, ooh, that's a good one. I don't want to hear any others. I'm just going to stick with this. And then they go to Thanksgiving dinner and they're like, well, I heard that. Oh, we're having fun. Anyways, yeah. Nothing's real except the dirt in the ground and yeah, that's all I got right now, unfortunately. Sorry, guys. That's all I got. Anywho, I think we're going to go to questions. I'm also considering, okay, dare I say, I'm also considering sort of adding more segments this year, maybe not a full-blown structure. Calm down, okay? Not like a full like segment after segment. 10 minutes here and then we got to cut it off. No, I'm just like a little bit more structure, as I feel as though this episode, well, quite frankly, had no structure whatsoever in any way, shape, or form. And that's really beautiful. And don't worry if you're sitting here and you're like, Anthony, what about all the stuff that's going on in the world? We're going to get there, okay? The drones will come to me. Funny thing about the drones, I thought this, and this is terrible, and like this is like what's sick, this is like what's wrong with me, and I probably should be telling this to a therapist, but I'll just tell it to you guys because like I don't have time to go to a therapist. So and they're expensive. Like let's just call a spade a spade. Therapy is expensive, right? And so when the drones first came out, instead of being like concerned and worried like other people were, I thought, how funny would it be if I built my own drone that was a replica of them, and then I made it just like roam the streets at about 20 feet high with a loudspeaker on it that just blasted this coded made up language that this language that I made up, and I just blasted through the streets. Do you think that would terrify people? Which is terrible, and it would cause chaos and unrest, and that's not right. But it would be funny for like 15 minutes. It would or not even a made up language. I could probably just like, go back and find like some, maybe like code it to like have like repeat maybe like old like crypt, I don't know, or just like scary languages or something like that, like old languages, you know what I'm saying? Not scary, but you know what I'm saying? They feel scary because it's different. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not inherently scary, they just feel scary because it's not something that you run into in your everyday life. I think that would be funny. And I would paint a symbol on it too, just to and that's terrible. And that's really terrible, but I thought it would be funny. And I know there's people that are like really worried about the drones, and I get it. And like, listen, we'll get into the drones later, but I'm just saying in general, I thought that was the first thing that came to mind, and I needed to tell somebody because it was a sick thought, and I shouldn't think that way. And it's not the right way to think, but it's the way that I think, unfortunately. Anyways, we have a segment that I like to call New Year, New You. I told everybody, hey, listen, bitches, feel free to submit New Year's resolutions, hopes for the new year, negativity about the new year, or really anything that you have on your mind or want to say about 2025. And we're about to get into this right now, and isn't that beautiful? There are a lot of responses. So if you're listening on YouTube, or watching on YouTube, I should say, if you're listening, you're not going to notice any cuts. There probably is going to be a lot of cuts on YouTube because I'm looking at these for the first time, and there are hundreds of responses, which I greatly appreciate. However, I didn't look at these beforehand because like it's not, I want to have a genuine reaction, and I don't want to be ungen. Which one am I looking for here? I'm flipping through sorry. It's like if something's shaped like a penis that's near my face, at some point or another, my body's going to have an involuntary reaction to do some sort of joke on it. And I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry that if you were watching at home and you have children that they had to see that. Okay? But they're going to see it one day. Let's be frank. Okay. It's called exposure therapy. Okay? It's called exposure therapy. Okay? Exposure therapy. By the way, you know what? I shouldn't get off topic again, but like whatever. You know what I sort of also thought about? And this is an interesting thought that I had the other day. I was thinking about how I sort of, you know what? No, let's forget that right now. I'll get back to it later. I don't need, okay. New year, new you. We're in it. We're on it. We're not inside of it, but we're right next to it adjacent. Okay, a lot of these are you actually going to start releasing EPs weekly, or is this a lie? Yes. Here's my reasoning. Stay with me here. I know I've given a lot of false promises, and I apologize, but that's in 2024. It's new year, new me, baby. It's new year, new me. I'm changing my ways, okay? This year, in 2024, I was the caterpillar, afraid of the world, searching for an answer. And in these last weeks, I have found my cocoon, and on January 1st, I will emerge into a beautiful butterfly and become a new me, okay? So you hold that onto you. Listen, and besides emerging into a beautiful butterfly, TikTok looks like it is in fact going to be banned on, what was it, January 19th, I think? I don't know. I can't remember. I believe it's January 19th, and there's this thing that's called money. And quite frankly, I need it. And it's not obviously not the reason I'm doing the podcast, but I'm just saying that is going to lead me to, even if that little mouse, right? Let's go back to that little mouse. If that little mouse, right, maybe he's gnawing at the bars of his cage as he's starting to get out a little bit, what's going to keep him in that cage is the fact that I can't just post a TikTok, multiple times a day to make income or whatever. Instead, I need to make sure that I'm consistent with the pod, so I'm making consistent money, and we're all doing well, which means you get a show, I get money, and I get to keep that mouse in that cage and continue enjoying making this podcast for you guys. So that's why they're going to be consistent this year in 2025, okay? And can you believe it? That's a quarter of his 25 years into 2000. Crazy. Anyways, okay. Let's see. Someone said it's almost 2025 and we still can't fly over tsunamis. Why? What the fuck do I look like to you? What about this face said scientific genius? What about this face said that? Have you looked at this face? This face says he probably has a bag on him. I don't, but that's what this face says. Okay? If you saw me in a bathroom at a bar, you'd go, okay? If you were going to try and decide who you're going to ask if they have a bag, this guy. I don't. Okay? I don't. But you would ask this guy. You wouldn't ask this guy about why we can't fly over tsunamis. You would ask this guy where he could find the nearest Adderall. And I'd point you in that direction. That's what you would ask this guy. Not about tsunamis. Also, what do you mean we can't? I actually didn't even know that. Can we actually not fly over tsunamis? It says yes. What the fuck are you lying to me for? What the fuck? What? Why would? Yes, in fact, tsunamis are virtually invisible until they near land. What the fuck? Somebody asked on Reddit, why isn't it possible to evade a tsunami in a plane? And someone just answers, tsunamis are waves, so you absolutely can evade them in a plane. I was going to say, that was my exact thought as well. What am I, being gaslit on my own fucking show? Are you gaslighting me on my own show? That's not allowed. You can't gaslight me on my own show. I gaslight you. That's not how this works. Don't you fucking flip the table on me. I'll flip the table over into your mouth and then pour gasoline on it, light it on fire, and throw you out the window, and then throw a hot pot of coffee in your face during my play. How about that? You can't gaslight me on my own show. That's not how this works. I didn't like that. You better take that back, bitch. Someone said, what the fuck is the matter with you, Kaz? A lot. The doctors are still studying. They meet in groups every week at the Georgetown campus to study my brain. It's become a chore, quite frankly. They're not exactly sure. They feel like they've gotten closer, but they said they've really only just cracked the outer shell, and they didn't realize that it actually went much deeper. It actually went much, much deeper, right? So they've actually just broke the surface. So we are making progress, but it will be a while until we find an answer, unfortunately. Someone says, what's going to happen when the Department of Education closes? Well, I hope they don't. But if they do, well, yikes. Big yikes. That's what's going to happen. Big yikes. Big yikes. Big yikes. That's like, dude, I don't want to get into it. No, I do, actually. If they think closing the Department of Education is insane. It's so fucking insane. Oh my God. They just want, they're closing the Department of Education so that less people go to school. It's harder to go to school, costs even more money to go to school, less people to get degrees, more people are stupid. That's what they want. I'm guessing, right? This is a comedy podcast. I'm just guessing. I'm just guessing that they want people to fall in line and not think for themselves. And I'm telling you right here on Kickin' with Cause podcast that we support thinking for yourself. And now that doesn't mean necessarily that you need to go to college, but it means that you need to keep continuing to educate yourself every single day, right? Read, learn. Learning is good. Learning is great. Learning is beneficial for life. Learning progresses society. Learn. If you are listening to this, you need to learn. We all need to learn. I will never know enough information, and that's a fact. But I'm going to try every single day to learn more. Someone said, if you were the head coach of the Bears, what would you do to make them 16-0 and win the Super Bowl? Nuke every other team in the NFL. Because then I think every other team would have to, right? They'd inevitably have to forfeit, of course. And we would win the Super Bowl. Off a technicality, sure, but nonetheless, we would win it, wouldn't we? So I think that's really the only way. How concerned are we about the aggression levels in geese rising? Is this a vibe you're getting? More importantly, why are you near these geese, and are you taunting them? Are you provoking the geese? Actually, I'm not. No, actually, you know what? Am I victim blaming right now? Oh my God. 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 I didn't even realize it. Oh my God. I'm so sorry. No, you're right. We do have a problem with geese. How dare I not? That was insane. That was insane of me. Oh my God. Get it together, Anthony. Now, if you're lying about this aggression levels in geese, though, I'm going to be quite upset. I'm going to be quite upset with you because that's not, okay? The geese are already a group that is hated. Don't put shit on them. Now, I don't know if you're just saying this or if this is scientific. Let's look it up. Are geese getting more aggressive? Why did I just talk to my iPad like I'm 80 years old? I just got like real close. Like it's a Siri, Alexa, Siri. I love when old people use technology. Siri? Okay. Let's see. Can you play that song that goes like, 2 blind mice, 3, wait, I don't know if it's, 3 blind, right? They just talk to it like somebody's there and like they can explain it to it. You know what I'm saying? That's what we need in 2025. We need to teach the older generation that you need to collect your thoughts before you talk to the iPad or Siri or Alexa or whatever. You need to collect the thoughts, come to a concise idea, and then present that idea to said technology, okay? That's what you need to do. That's what we need to be teaching the older generation this year. In 2025, the older generation needs to learn that you can't decide what you're saying mid-sentence while talking to Siri, okay? You can't decide what you're saying mid-sentence while talking to Alexa. You need to fucking get it together. What does this say? Geese can be aggressive. Okay, are geese getting more aggressive though? Okay, there are a lot of backyardchickens.com. We have found a subreddit like no other. Somebody puts in 4 months. 4 months. I'm assuming the geese name is Gander. Starting to get aggressive, period. Help, exclamation point. I love how there's a geese owning forum about why they're getting aggressive and how to stop it. Let's look at this. Hello, everyone. This is my first time raising geese, and it has been amazing until recently. My 5 geese are 4 months old. You bought 5 geese at once? Who the fuck? By the way, we need to stop letting people just like do shit just cuz. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just like, if you've never owned geese before, you can't just buy 5. Like, there needs to be a limit. Like, we need to do, like, background checks. Let's see. About a month ago, one of the white Chinese... What? Is this racism? Charged at my knees. Hold on. Wait. Is that a real thing, or are they being racist? White Chinese geese? Oh, that's straight. Oh, the color is white, and it's a Chinese goose. I got it. I was being stupid. Okay, let's see. About a month ago, one of the white Chinese charged at my niece. I got confused, by the way, because they only capitalized white and Chinese, which I thought was... I thought they were just naming... I thought they were... Never mind. Okay, charged at my niece. I really did not thought much about it. Okay. I really not think much about it and ignored him. However, lately he's gotten pretty aggressive, even with me, which he never was. A lot of people say that about their spouse as well. Sorry. I know. I should have kept that one to myself, but it eats away at me. It's like a tick. I'm sorry. I need to just get the joke out. It's a disease. I'm sorry. I've seen him charge at my neighbor. This person doesn't know fucking English and it's pissing me off. I've seen him charge at my neighbor since his property is very close to where I keep them, but I figured since he was a stranger, he wanted to protect his territory. Other than the others behave nicely. I was thinking about rehoming him to a friend's house, but I do feel bad since, well, I love them. You don't feel bad that you would just be giving your fucking neighbor a rogue goose? That you would be giving your friend this rogue goose? Oh, I feel bad because I love him, not that he would terrorize my friend's life. What the fuck? Anyways, I've always played on the idea that maybe I should only keep 2, but I don't know, haha. Is this maybe a phase that they go through? I mean, he is very young and he won't get more aggressive as he gets older, right? I've put in practice all of the tricks I've read on different threads here. However, I'm really worried that he will keep acting up. Please help. And someone goes, he's a Chinese goose, which means he's a bit spicier than the other breeds. I can't tell you whether he will calm down. It's impossible to predict. Oh my God. When he charges, say no and pick him up and carry him around for a minute. It usually rocks their world for a while. Keep in mind, the more stubborn or hormonal they are, the more frequently they need reminding. This is great, man. Oh my God. What? Then someone goes, after reading this, I use a lot of the tactics. I do look funny doing the victory dance, but facing them down and making them retreat in front of the girls does make them think twice. So, so the way to get your geese to behave is to embarrass them. The way to get male geese to behave is to embarrass them in front of the women. That's unbelievable. That's they're just like the geese. You're like holding it in your arm. He's like, not in front of the hose, man. Fuck. I was spitting game, dude. Not in front of the hose. Fuck. Not in front of the hose. Oh my God. What the fuck? Someone says my 14-week-old Chinese goose is the worst of my four. She tries slinking up behind you and taking a bite of what? Taking a bite of what? Oh my God. You know what? Yeah, the geese, I'm going to have to agree with you. The geese are getting much worse. Why do you own... You know what? If you own geese, that's your own fucking fault, isn't it? That's your own fucking problem. Okay? That's like the same people who are like, oh my God, right? Everyone wants to be sympathetic or empathetic or whatever towards people who like get injured by their exotic pets. Listen, if you got a lion in your house, you have a lion in your house. Like, don't come crying to me when it mauls you to death. God. All right, we are going to hop into some current events that maybe aren't super current, but just things that I missed while I was gone. There was an election. Elon Musk is now the president. That's interesting. I saw somebody say, dude, I saw the funniest fucking shit ever online that I thought was so fucking dumb. But it really made me giggle inside because this person's just gonna, are they gonna wake up and just get fucking sideswiped by reality? I saw somebody say, no, you don't understand. The tax cuts for the billionaires are good because now they'll have extra money to help us build a structure of universal health care. I mean, bravo to the propaganda machine for creating that person. Holy shit. Wow. That's unbelievable. It's really impressive. Wow. I mean, wow, dude, that's really good. That made me, like, it's terrible and like super sad, but that made me laugh. It was funny because I was like, wow, they don't even, wow. I didn't even know people thought that way, to be honest with you. Literally, somebody was like, now that Elon has all this money, he could help fix America. What? What the fuck are you talking about, man? What? Oh my God. God, that shit's funny as hell, man. That shit is funny as fuck. Oh, he's gonna help fix him. Like, he didn't have enough money. But someone's like, now he can fix. I saw somebody else. They're like, now he can end homelessness. Like he gives a fuck. Like he gives a fuck. Oh my God. He doesn't care about homelessness, dude. He doesn't give a fuck. You know what? You know how much he cares about homelessness? that he has to see it when he walks out of his house. That's how much he cares about it. Oh, man, what a cunt he is, dude. Anywho, yeah, there's a new president. I think starting January 19th, I might have to open every episode with "All Hail Supreme Leader." Kidding. It is terrifying in a way, but I'm trying to stay hopeful and optimistic, you know? Maybe, and I think, you know what? And I do tend to dwell, I do tend to become severely pessimistic and sort of like doom scroll and sort of dig myself into this really negative hole, no matter what's happening in the world. And it's like, you know, I just need to get up every single day and take it one step at a time. And so do you. You know, you just got to take it one step at a time. You know, if you have anxiety about the world, maybe anxiety about the climate, you know, even, you know, maybe anxiety about, you know, just where the world's going, just anxiety in general. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, dude. However, I did see today, there was like, they're like fighting. Elon Musk is like fighting with, he's actually digging his own grave on Twitter, which was beautiful, and it really just warmed my face when I woke up and saw that this morning, because he got on Twitter, and him and that Vivek Ramaswamy guy, who like was like running for president, and then like now that like he realized he was never gonna win, he was like, Daddy Trump, can I please have a job in the government, please? Oh, please. Don't leave me behind with the poor people. Please, can I have a job in the government, please? Please, can I have a job in the government? I promise I'll be good. Please. Oh, what a bitch. Anyways, those dickheads got on Twitter and they said, guys, you don't understand the reason that we need to bring more foreign workers to work at these tech companies is because of a culture thing, and it's because Americans don't work as hard as people from foreign nations. What? Oh, man. They got a lot of people upset, understandably so. Oh, my God. When they said that, though, what they really mean, the undertones of the subtext, is really just Americans want, like, this work-life balance, good benefits, good pay, and not have to, you know, live paycheck to paycheck. That's what they really meant. Was they're like, these fucking Americans want like to enjoy their lives. That's what they really, you know, which is an insane concept. How dare we enjoy our lives, okay? You need to just be a cog in the machine and not experience happiness and just die one day. And then when you die, they fucking dump you over the edge and they just put somebody else in your spot. That's what they want. That's what they meant. I wish they would just say that too. Like, why are they playing hopscotch with these words, you know? Like, just say you don't want to pay people, you don't want them to have work-life balance, you just want people to work their fucking life away, okay? Because you got this money now and you think you can just do whatever the fuck you want. Anywho, this fucking cord keeps tangling up on me. Stupid microphone. That's what they really mean, though. You know, that's what they really mean, but you can't really, I guess you can't say that, they say. You're like, oh, no, they don't know. They don't feel that way. Maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong. But, you know, this is just, guys, I'm just yapping. Guys, this is a comedy podcast. Okay, I'm just yapping. It's just jokes. And then I think we're gonna end here. There's drones in New Jersey, but now they're kind of everywhere. I've heard they're kind of like just popping up everywhere and everywhere. And the government's like, we don't know what they are. Okay, yeah, okay. Dude, I mean, like, do they think like that we're like fucking, like, how stupid do they think we are? Like, genuinely. Oh, there's drones in our airspace and we don't know what it is. Yeah. Okay, I'm supposed to believe the same. Okay. Oh, so now we I thought we shoot first, ask questions later in America, but you're just letting these things fly around. Okay. Yeah. I mean, I thought this was a shoot first, ask questions later nation. Oh, that was the wrong guy. Oh, I just unloaded a clip into his back. Ah, that's okay. You're an American. No, seriously though. Like, how stupid do they think we are? Guys, like, I saw people on the internet, they're like, they're actually Chinese drones. Guys, if they were Chinese drones, we probably would have shot nukes at them. Do you understand? Okay. If anything with the they're trying to get rid of an app that's tied to China. I think they, by the way, they only own like, I think a Chinese company only owns about like 20% of TikTok. 80% is actually owned by American companies. I believe that. I might be off, but I know it's a substantial amount, and a much smaller amount is owned by China. Okay, they've been working for years to get rid of an app that is somewhat on a very small level tied to to China. Okay, and you're gonna make me believe that they're just letting Chinese drones, or from any nation, really, any foreign nation, just fly around willy. Okay. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, okay. Anywho, I don't really know what's going on with the drones. And quite frankly, I'm just trying not to fucking care. Because there's so much, and there's such a plethora of information that it's like, at this point I can't even get anxious about something anymore, because there's so many things to be anxious about that I've just decided that I'm not even going to bother being anxious, because why try? Because there's so, like, sometimes I feel myself start to get anxious about the world, and then my brain's like, but what are we anxious about? And I'm like, shit, too much. And then my brain's like, it is too much. And I'm like, you know what? Whatever. And then I just go lay down, because I'm like, this is too much. And then I just go lay down. You know what's crazy? As the world's gotten more and more chaotic, my anxiety has declined, because I'm like, well, there's so many things to worry about that I can't even pinpoint it. So like, I'm just I've become exhausted by how much information is being thrown at me, that my anxiety has lessened, because I can't even comprehend how much shit's going wrong. So like, two sides to every coin, baby. I'm feeling positive. I'm feeling positive, and you should go into the new year feeling positive as well. That's the episode, everybody. Thank you so much for listening. That's it. Share. Tell everybody, cause is back in 2025. The podcast is back. And I know, and you know what? And I'm not gonna hold it to you if you want to wait 2 months and you want to see if I'm being for real and I'm gonna hold my promises. You could do that. Okay? But still rate, review, I'd appreciate it. Still share, I'd appreciate it. Leave a comment on YouTube. Let me know how you're feeling. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how you feel about the show. Let me know how you feel about your life if you want. Just get a little crazy. Anywho. Rate, review, Spotify, Apple, YouTube, all that stuff. Anywhere you listen. Thank you for listening. We end every episode like we always do. So can I get 2 claps? And a Ric Flair. Woo! See you next week.